Sam, I'm an athlete with 100 Strong, and this is my story. I've been training with Epic for a number of years now, so obviously know Matt. That's how I've been involved initially. He's come to me and said, would you do this, this and this? And I've gone, yep, no problem. And it's just snowballed over the last few months. We've started off with smaller things, and the challenges are just getting bigger and bigger and more exciting. So we decided to turn it into something that could actually be quite special. Let's get it out of the way. I do it. I'm not getting any younger. I'm 50. So, why wouldn't I do it? It's exciting. It gives me an opportunity to do things that make me a bit scared. And it keeps me training, it keeps me fit and active, because the things are quite difficult to do. So, training is quite hard for some of these events. And why wouldn't you do it? It's brilliant. The reason that I'm helping is because I've been involved with Mentoring Plus, which is one of the charities that we've already raised money for. I know what they need in terms of funding and support, and how important it is for people like us to get involved and do things to raise money for them. This year has been particularly difficult because of COVID. Their community fundraising is been practically zero this year. So for us to still be able to do these things, maybe in a slightly different capacity because of the times that we're in, makes a massive difference for these charities. Men can be a bit backwards in coming forwards when it's to do with their health. My dad certainly was. Had he not ignored symptoms and spoken to people before, things might have been different. It's been 15 years since I lost my dad, so it's not a really raw subject, so I can talk about it. But yeah, I think for men to be more mindful of their bodies and not stick their heads in the sand is huge. So for things that they find awkward to talk about, they need to be pushed forward. And I know the prostate cancer charities are really keen to get people talking. I came back to fitness when I was 43. In my teenage years I was incredibly fit because I was a gymnast, but then I turned 20s and partied, drank too much, the usual type of thing, and then had my family, and I got 4 children and had them very quickly. So through my late 20s and 30s was raising my family. I briefly touched on some running when I was about 36, and did a half marathon then, but then dropped back out of it. And then my passion for exercise properly kicked in when I was 43, and I haven't looked back. I'm probably as fit now at 50 as I was at 20, so it's never ever too late to start and to get to where you actually want to be. I think I realised at 43 that had I missed a trick? Possibly so. And I wouldn't change how my life has panned out at all. But I think had I pursued fitness when I was a lot younger, then maybe I could have achieved an awful lot in that time. Depending on what it is, really. I mean, my training is quite extreme anyway. I try to train and get to the gym most days. But for some of it, it will have to change. There will be some events that involve a bit more running coming up in the future. Then we're going to need to get outside and adapt for distances. This initially started when Matt was raising some funds for the Team Epic adults to get over to the World Championships. That was the run that we did. months and months and months ago, at the start of lockdown, there was little to do. Matt was again raising some money for the NHS, which is when we did the 1,000 burpees. We obviously did that independently because nobody could go anywhere, and I didn't like to see him doing it all by himself. After that came the 3003, which was 1,000 squats, 1,000 push-ups, 1,000 sit-ups in under 3 hours. That was to raise money for NICU at Sowden Hospital. I quite enjoyed that challenge because I beat Matt's time. After that, Matt alone did the death row, which was rowing the distance of a marathon, raising money for Southmead Hospital. That's the only one I haven't actually taken part in because, again, we were in lockdown, couldn't be in the gym at the same time using row machines, so that one I will revisit at some stage. Probably the hardest one, I would say, to date, which was Capital Gains, raising money for Mentoring Plus. We raised over £3,000 for this charity. This means a huge amount to me. The challenge itself was pretty disgusting, 117.7 miles on an assault bike each. Yeah, painful day, but a great day. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to say being cold worries me quite a lot, which could be a bit of an issue in the near future. I've got 2 jumpers on now, you know, it's not even very cold. There's not a lot to me, so extreme temperatures, cold probably being the main issue. I got involved with Mentoring Plus a few years ago, being introduced through a friend. Initially just did some fundraising for them. They always enter a team for Bath Half Marathon, so I did that. Then did a 15,000 foot skydive for them to raise some more money, but then thought, why am I just sitting on the edge? I could be used better, and became a volunteer mentor for them, which involved being matched with a young person, and then we would go out, do various different activities to give this person a bit more experience, to improve their confidence, and just give them access to things that they wouldn't necessarily get the chance to do. It was probably, apart from having my own children, the most rewarding thing I could have done. This is why it's so important to be able to help charities that can then put these different services in place for vulnerable people, or people, you know, that are just struggling in general, really. Well, we'll be venturing outside of the gym and taking things a little bit further afield. Bit of mountaineering maybe, going back to my running roots. Thought I'd put those shoes away, looks like I haven't. Yeah, extremes of temperature, hot and cold, there'll be a lot different, a lot to keep your interest.